Happy Saturday. One of two streams within the next, 14 hours that I'll be giving to you. This one is just a Midnight Express. What it's supposed to be is me just basically stopping by to say hi to you guys, getting out of here within between 30 minutes and 45 minutes. What it ends up being is me fucking up and going for far longer than that. I'm going to try to keep it down because there's really not a lot going on tonight, but I don't like to go too long without streaming. And especially I like to lead into the Saturday night show. I did not do the earlier show because I wasn't sure when Enosh was going to stream, and I had some other stuff going on here. And like I said, that midday on Friday it'll return next Friday, but it's a really hard. It's probably the hardest stream I put on, even harder than the overnighter, because of the fact that I'm not only dealing with streaming and trying not to blow up the show, but I'm also dealing with customers. Literally, when you guys see me, I'm behind my retail counter and there's people coming in. Under the new setup, it will be further away from the retail counter in its own studio, so I'll have to shut the store down and do that hour. Here it's going to be different. I'm about to go on vacation from everything, and I got all my stuff here that I'm going to set up the new studio. It won't look like I'm in a bomb shelter anymore. It'll look like I'm actually, like I said, the look I'm going for is John Campion's, because I really, 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 really love his setup. So I'm going to come. I don't have his money, but I'm going to come as close to it as possible. Let me say hi to my chat. Well, hi, chat. Monkey Jeebus, how you doing? Damien, what's going on, man? Dude, Vince, how you doing? Not much, man. How you guys doing? Yeah, I got you. Speaking of chat, Rhea's not here. She's probably out in the town. But Rhea, the Glimmering Harpy, she stopped by my store today. I have a picture. It's on my Twitter page or on my she tagged me on Twitter. So she came by the Sci-Fi Center, and I gave her some t-shirts and stuff, and did our selfie, and she came by with her sister. So it's always nice when you guys Vegas is like a way station for to get to certain places. It's also a destination. So when you do come into town, if you are listening from around wherever you're at, please do come by the Sci-Fi Center. I don't mind. I know a lot of people don't like to cross the bounds, let people know where they're at, where they live, because it is a dangerous world. But I'm already in it. I'm a retailer whose door is open to the entire world. Whoever comes in and wants to buy something and conversate with me, my door is open. I literally run a business. It's not that hard to find me. So me being anonymous and not interacting with you guys doesn't do any good. So if you are in Vegas and you want to swing by, I got tons of promo stuff at the store. I got posters because we promote movies over and over and over, and we don't always, they send us stacks of stuff. So if you want to walk out with free stuff, swing by the store. I will gladly give it to you. I'd rather give it to you guys than throw it away. Yeah, it was weird seeing her. No hat, no little floppy hat, no cat ears, just a little Rhea. Yeah, she's gonna be here for a couple of days, so that was kind of cool to meet her. She's very nice. She's why I'm not wearing them right now, because I don't need them, because there's nobody else on the stream, but she's why I have these. She sent me these. These are cool. And if you notice, when we're on streams with other people, I have to have those on because of the echo, from the sound coming from the computer. So glad to meet her. But like I said, I always like meeting people. I got into what I'm doing so I can meet and talk with people. The internet has made it cool, because some of you guys are 3,000 miles away. Some of you are on the other side of the planet. I would have never met you if it wasn't for the platform. But I always, first and foremost, like to meet people in public or in person, show them around the store. Because like I said, when I'm at the store, unless I give you guys like a little tour like we did on New Year's Eve, you can't see the whole entirety of the center. It's actually a pretty big place with different emblems and stuff. And when we talk comics, you'll see a lot of times you'll see me get up and run to something, bring back the actual comic that we're talking about. But yeah, it's fun. It's a fun place to run. So yeah, today is tomorrow's show is going to be probably the most packed show that we've had since Comic-Con. I have a screen writer. His name is, I got him on. I got a whole bunch. Brad Kern. He wrote the article that even if James Gunn reboots, they still need to resolve and come to a conclusion. And he everybody dogs me about, saying it. And, but like I said, he came up with a lot of excellent points. I'm one of those guys. Give me the ending any way you can give it to me. Sock puppets, claymation, Lego, don't care. Just want an ending. I always will say it to this point. And somebody brought up, if you were to do something like this or Netflix or anything, that you're just giving in to toxic fans. That is not the way you run a business. Okay. Fanboys can say stupid shit like that. People who run businesses and really big businesses, they have to be able to do enough research and development, and they have to be able to accurately target the middle audience, the in-betweeners, not the extremes on either end. The majority of people who spend your money are in the middle. That's why when people say, well, Steiner people didn't support Black Adam, and that's why it didn't draw enough. Nah, there's not enough of us to move that kind of needle. What made Black Adam underperform is the general audience, who makes up 98% of the pay scale. Once those guys tune out, then you're in trouble. That's why when I always say the people who want this, that are aggravated that things are going the way they are and not, going right, they're just a canary in the coal mine. The general customer will not say a word. They'll just walk away, or they'll just turn their head to something else, like the cat with a laser. So he is going to be here tomorrow to pitch that. But I wanted it to be coming from a legitimate source, a legitimate editorial source. I read his article. It's great. We're also going to be talking wrestling tomorrow. So I know not all you guys are into wrestling, but I can only bite my tongue on so many Saturday nights when it's when you're talking wrestling. So I'll try to get it out of the way as soon as possible. We got a lot to talk about in regards to wrestling. Vince McMahon, it's lovely that the rest of the globe is starting to understand what Vince McMahon has been the last 25 years. All right. Nothing that he's doing, weaseling his way back in, whatever sleazy side deal he's had, people wanting to quit and not work with him, including his daughter. This has been Vince McMahon WWE since the late 90s. All right. It's hilarious, absolutely hilarious that anybody is shocked about what's going on in WWE right now. This has been WWE. He got a pass. For some reason, the last 25 years or so, Vince McMahon got a pass for doing the same shit he's doing now. Making the same kind of deals he's doing now, pissing off the same people he's doing now. People resigning from the board, people leaving, people having to have meetings and stuff about, whether they even want to be with the company anymore. This has been WWE. I mean, who Lord knows who's going to sell it to. I hope it's Comcast. Even though Comcast is probably going to keep him on, but okay, at least it's Comcast. At least he has some type of boss. But if it's, the rumor during the week is like, Saudi Arabia. I was like I said, there was a lot of legitimate people that have been right on a lot of things saying that. I didn't get on and stream about it because, like I said, we didn't know yet. But I was going to get on and stream about the proposition of it selling it all, and it does appear that he wants to sell a company. So I personally think the best thing for it would be to sell outside of them and them not have anything to do with it. I think that's best for the entire profession, but that's just me. We'll talk a lot more about that tomorrow. Plus, hopefully I got Armando on. He's my wrestling sidekick, and we're gonna talk about some of the matches we've been watching. Across the board. I've been watching all types of wrestling. We've had Wrestle Kingdom since I last talked wrestling with you guys, and just whatever's going on in wrestling in general. We're actually going to talk some Star Trek. We're gonna cover a lot of ground tomorrow. Tomorrow will probably end up being one of my longest overnighters because there's just a lot of talk, I'm going to try to line up some guests. It won't just be me running my mouth for 3 or 4 hours, but it'll be other people that we're pick brains. And I may bring some people on depending on how the pacing of the show goes. So, how you doing, Aaron? I saw that you're promoting Alien Con. Have you ever drove near it? Yeah. As close as I can come without getting shot. I was a reservist and a National Guardsman out here in Las Vegas, and Creech Air Base is near all that. And you can't, if you don't have the clearance, even if I'm military, you don't go there. There are signs saying that they will shoot you if you go there. You can actually get close enough to Area 51 to actually see a little bit, but that's it. If you go any closer, there's all kinds of stuff out there. The little white unmarked Jeeps will come out there, and your warning is the sign. So they are actually authorized to shoot at you because there's signs everywhere. So yeah, we got as close to Creech Air Force Base, but Area 51 is quite a while up there. It's quite a while up there. You actually have to fly. For a while, you actually have to fly people to get to there from Vegas because there was no roads there. But I have no desire to get to Area 51. First of all, I don't want to get shot, and B, I think there's just experimental aircraft there. I mean, I'm happy that the average Joe can't get to Area 51 because if Jethro could get to Area 51, then somebody could get a hold of Jethro, and now all of our secrets are out there. So, Clint Huntley, good talk wrestling. I need white noise to sleep. You know what? That's blasphemy. All right, it's bad enough I have to put up with people telling me wrestling isn't real. Just kidding. I know it's choreographed. Don't be tagging me and shit telling me I said it was real. How you doing, TW McKay? All right, so, but yeah, that's what we've got planned tomorrow. My Ripper event, my serial killer event. Turns out the only thing that can stop Jack the Ripper is going to be water and rain, and people just not wanting to do things in the cold. So we're moving it to March 18th. That gives me a whole hell of a lot of time to plan more. We were ready aesthetically to go to begin with. Now, with 2 extra months, we're going to layer it down. That's more blood. That's more body parts. That's more organs spread all over across the plaza. That's more clues. That's more help to make it even more elaborate. I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to, like I said, with this much time and this much time to promote it, I can make Project Ripper 2 just the glorious thing I've ever done. I mean, we even have an autopsy plan for the guests. It's going to be so much fun. All right, Larry, how you doing? I passed a couple similar bases on the drive to Vegas going to north the Bunny Ranch. Yeah, you'll there's a lot of ranges. There's a lot of not artillery ranges, but a lot of just bombing ranges out there. You have Fallon, that's where they do a lot of the bombing. Creech is the main one because there's a shooting range that the Army used on the other side of Creech, and that's where we went. But there's a lot of stuff out there that, listen, most of Nevada is barren. It's Vegas and it's Reno, Los Angeles. There's a couple of these cities, but if you look at a map of Las Vegas, most of it is just open desert, and it's perfect for the military. We have all kinds of shit over there. Someone should live stream rushing into Area 51, take one for the team. Not me, though. Yeah, they're going to take several for the team. Not just one. They're going to take several for the team. And the person filming them is probably going to be caught in a crossfire and get mistakenly shot. So, no. You do not, people. The Poindexter Hounds nor the Sci-Fi Center is advocating you rushing Area 51. We want you to live long, happy lives, and you will not be living long, happy lives if you rush. They may, as a courtesy, just blow your tires out, but they may just say fuck it and put it top dead center, and they can do that. So they got excellent snipers there. They got long range snipers there. The security is so heavy. I mean, you probably wouldn't even get that far. I mean, without getting taken down. So, but yeah, don't do it. Yeah, a lot of people saw it, gave it a 6 or 7 out of 10. Like I said, by no means is it a perfect movie. The problem with Black Adam is because DC and Warner Brothers previous fucked everything up so much that this was the Hank Aaron. That they made that, everybody tried to make Black Adam into the Babe Ruth. And then Cavill was in it, so why didn't everybody and their mother see it? You can't go 5 years without your main guys and give me Polka Dot Man and give me Huntress and give me all these other characters that may be great, but they have no fucking time or place right now, and then expect the general audience to be like, oh, okay, I'm coming right back. Even though us hardcore guys were probably the ones that propped up that movie. The general audience was like, Black who? What? Is that the Flash again? What's the bolt on his chest? All right, the general audience tuning out is would hurt Black Adam. We went and saw it. I saw it several times. I promoted it. So, yeah, but you put Black Adam in between a Superman or a Batman movie or a Superman or a Justice League movie, Black Adam does just fine. And nobody notices what a broken up movie it is. But hey, Zeno, Black Adam was a 10 out of 10. Hey, you know what? Everybody's got their opinion. My driver was telling me it's the safest place in the country. And he was telling me about Skunk Works is out there. That's where they tested the SR-71. All your stealth aircraft is tested over there. And the reason why is because most of our wars in the last 25 years or so, even when we were supporting stuff in Afghanistan against the Soviets, and even if you look at the Soviet Union, a lot of the Soviet Union is desert too. So the likelihood of us having to fight on that type of terrain is high. So they developed all their aircraft. The U-2, I think, was developed out there. A lot of things were developed out there. A lot of the stuff you find out. I think that if you watch Top Gun Maverick, I believe that they are in the Nevada desert testing that aircraft that he fucking blows up. Spoiler alert. But yeah, so the Nevada is a big military state. VA was a 7, maybe 8 because of Cavill. Polka Dot Man was the best part of Suicide Squad. I enjoyed Polka Dot Man. I also enjoyed the fact that I started to care about these characters. These were throwaway characters, and as they were being thrown away, I started to care. And that was the first step of me caring about Peacemaker. Even though the series was kind of just all over the place for the first 3 episodes, I actually started caring about him because when he kills Flag, you see that regret. That's not what he meant to do. He was put in an awful position, and remember, he had a bomb in the back of his head, so he was taking orders directly from Mahler. So I didn't have a problem with a lot of the development. I did. I enjoyed the Suicide Squad, but once again, the general audience, that's not what they want. When you come to the DC restaurant, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Green Lantern better be on the menu, or they're going to get up and walk out of your restaurant and go somewhere else. And that's what happened with Suicide Squad and Black Adam. What's my thoughts on Bob Zazar? Who I'm not going to pretend that I know who he is. Let's see who Bob Zazar is. I probably know him and don't realize I know him. Bob Zazar? Somebody's gonna have to clue me in on who he is. It's probably somebody I should know. But are you talking about Bob Lazar? Him I do know. He does the documentaries and stuff. Hold on, let me. Okay, you're talking about Bob L. Yeah, he's I don't watch a lot of what he says. I know he's had documentaries and stuff, and he's written books. No problem. I know. I sort of remember because he pops up on the bibliography a lot of the when I'm watching a lot of these shows like Channel 43 and here in Vegas. I watch Ancient Aliens and stuff like that. His name comes up sometimes, so I don't know a lot about him, so I can't give you an answer. I know who he is, but I don't know a lot about him. But there's a lot of guys out here. If you come out here to there's actually a museum and stuff like that here that you can get safely to. There's a lot of these guys who got their books there. I know his book is, if I'm at the center at Event Prompt Books, I'm plugging them. I think some of his books are down there in their UFO section. All right, let's see. What do you thought about Bob David? Honestly, I'll get back out of him saying because Pierce Brosnan, I really wish I could have seen more of him or more of his character. I mean, the next Dr. Fate, but here you go. Yeah, Pierce was the best. They met later. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. All right, he said he worked at 51. I think, is he the guy that they interviewed and he was the one that testified about the burn pits and stuff and the guys were getting sick and he was one of the, I think it was him or somebody else because there was a big, not scandal, but there's a lot of the stuff that they put on the aircraft. If it burns, it's radioactive. So when they would be burning extra parts and stuff because they didn't want them getting out in circulation, the toxicity of the stuff that they were burning would give the guys diseases and deformations and stuff like that, and they ended up having to settle out of court with Area 51, and that was one of the main ways that people found out that it even existed. But I think I know who you're talking about. Unfortunately, I mean, it's been a rough fucking week. Lisa Presley, at her too, 54 years old. Just less than a year after losing her son to suicide, who was 20. So her heart was breaking that whole time. Jeff Beck was 70. Listen, 78 is not that old. Right now, if he got meningitis is what took out. So he died of natural causes, but aggravated natural causes. A healthy 78-year-old probably has another 10 or 15 years if they're living right. Depending if they're living right. I mean, depending on what your health is. But yeah, I had to hear about that. It's just been a bad 2 weeks for a bad 30 days for deaths for people, who are not old enough to be dying like this, in my opinion. And that's why when we get all round up about the stuff we talk about, just remember this shit's fragile. It is nothing we're talking about supersedes the fragility of life and just having some fun. Have fun while you're here. It's sad. Jeff Beck. A lot of people consider Jeff Beck one of the best contemporary guitarists ever, and they have him on their Mount Rushmore. I don't, but it's only because I got a lot of other guys that are fucking legends on my Mount Rushmore too. No disrespect to Jeff Beck, but yeah, man. Ugh. How you doing, Slipknot? George Knapp. Yeah, George Knapp. George Knapp is our investigative reporter. I actually had a chance to meet him. He was doing a story. Yeah, he does a lot of investigative stuff. Not just that, but he's out there, scammers, all that. He's all over him. He's on Channel 8. But with Jeff Beck, I'm not accusing him of anything. Just not be surprised if we find out that maybe the drugs he was doing then when he was younger finally caught up to him. You could name that about anybody. I from what I understand, though, Anthony, it was meningitis, and meningitis in your 70s. Meningitis for younger people is deadly, but when you're closing in on 80 to get it, it's not good. Not really a party, just another Midnight Express. Right now we're at 22 minutes. I'm going to promise myself to keep control and get out of here within a decent amount of time. You2 told me the stream was happening, so I jumped on. I'm not a subscriber to this channel, though. Yeah, cool. At least we know Enosh has a reach going everywhere, so that's cool. Thank you for you're more than welcome to be here, Slipknot fan. If you got any questions, let me know. Hello to you. Fourth 1000, my favorite troll is here. Oh, wow. I guess I should bend over and just get ready for it, eh? Fourth? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, Jeff Beck dying, that's just, it's every time I wake up, it's somebody's having their life cut short, and it's like, damn. You just got to look around, and I think I am guilty. I am hugely guilty because of what I do outside of the Sci-Fi Center, running the center itself, promoting, doing everything we do. We move so fast. We never slow down to enjoy what we've built and the things around us. And I am 100% guilty of it. I had to tell myself to get up and walk around my store, walk around the things I built. I walk around and take a look at the things we've accomplished so that you understand why you're doing all this running. Otherwise, you're running yourself into an early grave and you're never appreciating the people and places and the things that make up your environment. And you don't really, you're not reminded of it until somebody in their 50s goes, somebody in their 40s goes, somebody who you thought was in good health just goes, somebody commits suicide. You don't, you take for granted that, that you're not appreciated, or you don't appreciate what you've done because it's never good enough, or you're never having a good enough day. You're never making enough money. It's not happening quick enough. But then you look around, whatever did happen, happened. And if you're the cause of that thing happening, you have to understand that. And, take a lot of stress off yourself, take a lot of stress off your body, so. Not today, because I have to go into Saturday. You know what Saturdays are to me, and plus we're gonna do a very long stream tomorrow night. So yes, everybody, welcome Slipknot. I hope Slipknot for night. I remember I told you to check out the stream on here before our reporter came. Oh, Larry, you're talking to him. Cool. Well, once Kathleen Kennedy leaves for Indiana Jones 5, who do you think replaces her at Lucasville? And do you think Indiana Jones to finish? I don't know who. I have no idea who replaced Kathleen Kennedy. I don't know who would want that job because it's a very stressful job, especially once you get into the Star Wars shit. I have no idea. When it comes to a replacement for Indiana Jones, it might take a while because once you get done with this movie, you're not going to just jump into another one. It all depends on who's hot at the time and what kind of story they're going to write. I always want to wait to guess what cast stuff until I know who's actually helming the movie. Because once I know, like if you tell me that one director is going to be writing the screenplay and then going to be doing the movie, then I can tell you, okay, I may be able to discern what type of script's coming at me, and then I can probably give you a list of actors and actresses. But until I know who that person is, it's really hard for me because, like I said, if I got Michael Mann to direct a movie, there's a different set of actors that fit what he does and his style. If I say Tim Burton is going to do it, then there's a certain set of actors, a lot of people who've worked with him before and over again that he might feel comfortable around, and that script might fit. So I have to wait until a new Indiana Jones movie beyond the one that we're about to watch happens in order to give you a better answer. Jeff Beck passed away, and Lisa Marie Presley, Elvis's daughter, passed away as well this week. Favorite vampire movies? 30 Days of Night and Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula. The one where Gary Oldman and Winona Ryder. Those are my two top, and everything else is a distant second or third, because I put those tied. William, being that you work at a comic store, what was your favorite meet and greet that you've done, and who sells out the fastest when you do those at your store? Lloyd Kaufman from Troma Films. Every time he comes out, we pack the house. I don't get too many comic book artists out there because I really can't afford to have out there, and you got to bring them out, and you got to hope that everybody comes out, and there's a lot of competition for that out here. When it comes to like bringing out film, I brought out Doug Bradley from Hellraiser. He played Pinhead. I bought him out a few years in a row a while back. We did pretty well with him, but with Lloyd Kaufman from Troma, and we're going to be bringing him out here. In fact, I got to call him tomorrow. We're going to be bringing him out here either at the end of February or the beginning of March to do a Troma marathon. But Lloyd Kaufman's always my favorite. He's always a lot of fun. He always brings a lot of fun people around him. He's just that kind of guy. So that's my favorite one. All right, so my Larry, yeah, it's probably okay. Cool, you guys talking to each other. The thing I have about being 40 is I think about my mortality, more about my mortality before, especially when people healthier than me pass away around my age. To me, it's not even. Because we're not even close to being old at 40 in our 40s, and hell, in your 50s, you're not even close to being. It's the energy you put into life. Once you stop doing something, once you stop creating, once you start, constantly reinventing the world around you, that is when the age starts to come in. You don't think about age when you're doing things you want to be doing and you're living the life you want to be doing. You think about age when that world does slow down and things come into focus. Some things come into focus that they shouldn't. Remember I said about slowing down and enjoying things? But make sure when you're slowing down, it's because you're doing things that you want to do really fast and you just want to appreciate it. But when you're not doing anything, you're not motivated, that's when 40 and 50 start to think. Because physically, you're fine until you're late 60s, early 70s. You don't really, you may start deteriorating physically, but not in a way that it affects your mortality. So, yeah. And then some of these guys are knocking themselves off. They're committing suicide. So it's really not about an age thing. It's about they just don't see the value in life anymore. And that's unfortunate. And that's why whenever we do these suicide prevention things, I'm always on board with it. But yeah, right now, for me, I started thinking about my mortality when I got deployed. And when you start realizing that, some of these people don't come back. You meet people that go deeper into the line and beyond the wire that don't come back. People die. We lost a guy before we even left Fort Lewis because he had a stroke and died. We had to before we even left Fort Lewis for deployment, we were attending a military funeral. One of the most awful experiences I have ever had in my life. All right. You name it. I would rather do anything than to ever attend another military funeral. And then I was flag guard, honor guard, color guard for another one here in Vegas. It is awful. It is awful when somebody's life is cut short in that manner. And your family is there, and it's like, oh, wow. That's when I start thinking about mortality. The guy who died was only 31, and the guy who died that we buried here in Vegas was in his 20s. That's when I start thinking about mortality. When you realize that it's all around you, you just get cut short like that, and you wonder, are you living your best life? So the military taught me more about mortality than age ever will. That's just me personally, though, because not everybody's gonna have that point of view. Hey, William, what's your oldest comic book that I own? I don't own too many old ones. Most of those are at the store, and I've cycled through ones. I got some stuff that's 30 years old. I don't have any of the golden and silver. I mean, I have Amazing Spider-Man 238, which is Hobgoblin's first appearance. I have I gotta look because they're all at the store. I don't have too many because at one time their value fluctuated so much. Holding on to books that old was a liability, so I moved them. Some of them I keep for sentimental value, though. Looking forward to the wild card games this weekend. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Let's say it's Matt Reeves directing the new Indiana Jones movies. Who would do? Who would it be? I mean, it all depends on. See, Matt Reeves does a lot of different things though, because he can do a dark edge like the Batman, or else he could do Cloverfield. I don't know because his that's one of the guys who's done several different types of in Planet of the Apes. I mean, he's done movies to where he's all over the place. So I don't know what kind of script he would give me. Would he give me a darker type Indiana Jones, or would he give me more of a Cloverfield type of deal? I mean, in that case, you got a lot of decent guys. I mean, that can play them. There's like 10 or 20 guys that if I sat down and thought about it, I could get them, but not they all come, in my head at once. So like Austin Butler, I just throw Austin Butler out there. So Andrew Garfield. I mean, there's a lot of people. Andrew Garfield is perfect for Indiana Jones because remember, Indiana Jones is in his very late 30s, early 40s when he starts to. He's a experienced professor, experienced educator at the point in time where you see him for the first time. So Andrew Garfield's 39, will be 40 soon. Andrew Garfield, just a name I'm throwing out there without knowing the script. Really curious how Indiana Jones will perform. No interest in seeing. I'll go see it because I'm just happy damn Harrison Ford's out of danger. Jeez. Slipknot, he also Slipknot fan. He also knew no one really knows what's going to happen, so we shouldn't be losing it. Yes. Oh yeah, Ray Porter. Yeah. Yeah, I think that when it comes to Warner Brothers, I think a lot of it is that they are so strong. The current regime is so strong with their plan. They don't think they need to. But like I said, they're also going to end up having to be results driven. I mean, so they're going to have to make adjustments. But they're also about money. I mean, if you can logically, not all of us are insulting them though. I mean, I will say when they fucked up, I think that even the new regime has handled the rollout of this so far. They've handled this horribly. But not the percentage of people that insult them like that. That's not the majority of them are not ones that are like in my chats or in my groups or the people I surround myself with. So we got to make that distinct. And I think they have. Even James Gunn has said that he understands that it's the vast majority of people are not like that. But like I said, we don't report about the plane landing safely. We report about the one that hits, that crashes. So I can't lie. One of my favorite vampire movies is Dusk Till Dawn. I did not like that movie. I thought it was a fun movie, and okay, I didn't like it as a vampire movie. How about that? Everything else, it was it was all right. But when you say vampire movie, I have different set of standards for that. I know what you were talking about. Doctor Sleep is my favorite vampire movie. It's an underrated movie. I couldn't put it up there in my top two, but Bram Stoker's Dracula from Dusk Till Dawn. Not sure if Blade 1 counts. See, and that's the thing. For me, my vampire movies are a little bit different in the gothic area. I mean, obviously, one of those up there that people criticize the interview with a vampire. That's the only Anne Rice movie that got transferred into film that I liked. But like I said, the two top for me are so much my favorite vampire movies that I just look at everything else as like, ooh, wow, nice try, but not it. But everybody's got their opinions about it. I mean, 30 Days a Night, seeing all that blood, all the blood on that white snow, and just the fact that they're just gnawing people up. The look of the vampires in that movie is just awesome. Yeah, Lloyd is great. He just celebrated his birthday last week. We wished him happy. I wish I could send you the picture that he sent me. It's not safe for work, so. Saw Bram Stoker's Bram Stoker's Dracula in 30 Days a Night. Very awesome movies. I saw 30 Days a Night in the theater and created. Yeah, especially if you see it on these big screens, like with all that white, and just like I said, the blood and the violence is just so much more graphic when you see it on that. Yeah, it does. Welcome to Barrow, top of the world, and They have the helicopter shots. Yep. Yeah, and like I said, and I'm going to be the disclaimer. A lot of people, just by mere bringing this up, have been like, you guys should move on and all this and that. Somebody brought it up as a topic, and I feel, it's a legitimate question to explore. The people who I think are delusional, I had somebody call me on YouTube delusional. The delusional people are the people who just dismiss it out of hand and without even thinking about it. Without even, they're just, that's just stupid. And anybody who is at the helm of a business that would just immediately dismisses it without even having a conversation about it is a fool, because there's possible money to be made. Now, the odds of it happening are obviously very slim, almost none. But it has been brought up, and enough of Forbes even brought it up as a topic, as an editorial topic. So, I explained it a couple of days ago. What I thought, if something like that were to happen, what it should be a very limited thing. It should be 6 episodes. People are like, oh, Zach's movies are 4 hours. You can never do it. Yes, you can. All right, and what probably wouldn't even be Zack Snyder, but you could 6 hour and a half to 2 hour episodes, 6 of them, just like Stranger Things did with their last, and you break it up and you market it, and that's it. You market it as the end of one world and the beginning of another, and you do it with the explicit goal to end this story. And if you wanted to, use it to propel you into the next one. Market the hell out of what James Gunn's doing. And you don't do it for toxic fans. You don't do it for any particular segment of fans. You do it for that middle guy that makes up the majority of your money. All right? Because when he comes upon this project, inevitably they will on HBO Max or anything else, because you still have these things in circulation. You want that brand new customer who's probably been watching this other stuff not to see some broke up, unprofessionally unended shit. You want them to see something that is contained, something that is done, something that is finished. Because that tells everybody else you can finish something. You will never rid yourself of anyone as long as that incompletion is there. So I say do it. And people are asking, well, where's the money going to come from? They can't afford this. Netflix is in debt. Netflix is in what's called manageable debt. They can do whatever the fuck they want with money if they think they can draw a profit. They just dropped $450 million on some shit I didn't even hear of until they made the first movie in Knives Out. You think a Netflix audience is going to recognize a Superman more than they're going to recognize whoever the fuck is the main characters in Knives Out? You think that much respect to Batista, but whatever character Batista is playing in Glass Onion is going to get more notoriety than Batman? So if you dropped $450 on that and nobody knew who those characters were prior to the Knives Out coming out, then you can justify somewhere near or less, just probably less than that, because it wouldn't take that much to do something like that. And Netflix is a licensee, and they have a limited license. I'm not talking about something that's going to go on forever. I'm talking about something that resolves and puts an ending and bridges the content together. Just good business. But I talked about that enough. Favorite vampire movies? One I know I talked about Van Helsing. Underrated movie. I agree. Gunn and Sandler are to announce their part of the DC Bible in a few weeks. Yeah, that ought to be fun. While I wait for DC, I'm watching the Arrowverse for the first time. Up to Arrow season 2. Okay, I got 5 more minutes. Season 4 is where Arrow lost me. Is anyone disappointed I am that Snyder is shooting digital now for his movies? I felt Army of the Dead is his worst looking film. Photography. I didn't have too much of a problem, but I know you have a background in that, Forth, so you probably notice things that I'm never going to notice. All right, so yeah, like I said, will it ever happen? Who knows? Probably not. But to go after people and attack them for even entertaining the possibility is fucking stupid. All right, I'm going to call you out on it. If you're just attacking somebody just because I see a remote possibility and I'm giving you the nuts and bolts of it, and you're just going to attack me just because you think I should move on, fuck you. All right. First of all, over and over again, people need to shut the fuck up when in regards to telling someone what they should hold out hope for or believe in. That is not your role. All right. It is not your role to tell anybody to move on to shit. It is not your role to tell anybody to give up on shit. It is not your role to tell anybody to watch shit one way or another. You are not there to change their mind. If you want to move on, get to skipping. But attacking somebody for bringing something up just because you don't want to analyze the logistics of it, fuck you. All right? You move on. But, like I said, slim odds, who knows? But, it was a legitimate, it was a legitimate conversation to be had, and we had it. And, I've moved on from that conversation. But like I said, we're like the guy we're talking to tomorrow night, the author from Screen Rap, brings up the fact that why are we even talking about a reboot? Why are we talking about Netflix? Why are we talking about anything? Because somebody fucked up. And you don't unfuck things by just moving past them. All right? That elephant can run. And until you resolve shit, you have a credibility issue. Like I said, sock puppets, Lego, cartoon, coloring book, I don't care how you got to do it. You need to finish what you fucking started before people will trust you with anything else. And that's just general audience. The general audience is going to be like, this is a mess. There's too many other options out there for Joe Average to come into our salad that's all fucked up. And then they're like, well, why are we rebooting this again? It's the first thing I get when I talk to people about this who are not Snyder Bros or anybody else. First thing that they ask me is, why? So you got to sell your pitch to those people. So good luck, guys. A friend of mine who collects comics recently got his first appearance of Neymar and the first appearance of Dr. Doom. He got them graded. Wow. First appearance of Neymar is in Marvel Comics #1, isn't it? It's like that shit. He's got an 80-year-old comic. Do you mean the first modern era appearance of Neymar? I think that's like an Avengers 12 or something like that. But I know Neymar and Human Torch all appeared in Marvel Comics #1 back in the 40s, 1940, I believe. Right. Can you rewrite the Indiana Jones backstory to where he's a former military paratrooper? I think people would riot and burn down the studio if they did that. Warners will never go out of their way for fans. It took a buyout in the struggling streaming service to get the Snyder Cut. Yeah, and that's like I said, fans paid for that. Opinions on Nosferatu, William. It is a classic. We just did a screening here back in March, the 100th anniversary. Oh, wow, it's been a year almost since we did that. We did a 100th anniversary of Nosferatu, and we had a live pianist play a live score for F.W. Murnau's Nosferatu while Nosferatu was going on. We packed the house on it. It was a sellout, and we did it downstairs. And like I said, I'm a big fan of that movie. It is decades upon decades ahead of its time, and it's a damn shame that they ran into copyright issues with Bram Stoker's Widow, or else that movie would have gotten a head start on what it was. But they took all the copies, and then it fell in the public domain, and we didn't get that movie in the theaters until decades later. But there you go. I have not been paying attention. I'm sorry. I failed you. If you double feature William Halloween specifically for vampire movies, what are your top choices taking away from Stoker's Dracula and 30 Days of Night? Oh, jeez. Interview with a Vampire, which would probably put people to sleep. Oh, easy. I'm sorry. Lost Boys. There you go. All right, could be possible, but the only thing stopping is James Gunn and maybe Zaslav. Zaslav is in the business of making money. So if somebody comes to you with 100% profit thing that they can just license it from you, limited licensing, not going on forever, just those limited licensing. He's right now they're discussing the selling of their music and Warner Brothers soundtracks. So there's some memorable soundtracks in there. As far as Gunn goes, it's not going to affect his thing. People are like, "Oh, it'll be competing with this." And no, unfuck yourselves, all right? If he's executive producing it, it would not be him competing. You got 2 years before anything comes out from him. And he's not even done with the script yet. We're in 2023. We're looking at 2025. There's a lot of ways you could do that. And you're talking about something that's on Netflix. He's doing the big screen. And we're talking about something ending while his is beginning. Not the same, not parallel. So no, I tried not to jump on this because we already explored it. Everybody who's getting on YouTube and telling me why it can't be done is giving me bullshit reasons, in my opinion. They're giving me garbage reasons. So, like I said, it could never happen. It is most likely that it will never happen, but not for any of the garbage reasons that I'm hearing. So that's just me. People don't even probably count it as a suggestion to put the Snyderverse on Netflix, especially Cinema. But yeah, like I said, even some people who should fucking know better that have hundreds of thousands of followers were spewing out bullshit. And the parameters that they were giving was probably not what the parameters that what the possibility is. Most credible people who are bringing up would bring up to conclude. These guys are, well, we're not going to have a whole new universe going on at the same time. Shut the fuck up, all right? Listen to yourself and then read what was being suggested. Turn one voice off so you can listen to another. That's my opinion. How you doing, Daniel Martin? I'm about to wrap this up in 4 minutes. For William, did you see Campion Robert? Yeah, I heard about him. Yeah. Like I said, I love those guys. I have all the respect in the world for John Campea. I admire his show. I watch it on a daily basis. But when it comes to this topic, he's probably the most detached person. Even being a Cavill fan, he is probably the most detached person because I believe, in my opinion, he's in a stratosphere that the normal average fan just does not exist in anymore. He is pundit. He is full pundit. And the parameters that he brought up were none of the parameters that I brought up, and none of the ones that were brought up when the question was being asked. Everybody's gone on their own reservation on this, and nobody's breaking it down to physically. They're just what they do is assail it first, and then they try to come up with bullshit reasons of why something like that could happen. And I made sure I thought what I said, my hour and a half that I talked, I made sure I thought it out. I thought out every revenue stream. I thought out every leverage stream. Only to have 20 or 30 people just basically, open their Pez dispenser's mouth and export bullshit. They'll never do this. They'll never do that. Every time you hear somebody say they'll never do something like that, I'm sorry. There's a good chance that they're full of shit. All right. Now, giving false hope. Now, that would be saying that it's going to happen tomorrow. It's definitely, I've heard it's going to happen. That's false hope. But examining and exploring a topic like that, when a real, even with the small percentages that might happen, if there's even 1%, you should still discuss it to its fruition. And then once you've discussed it, you can move on with it. So, yeah, the argument that I've heard here is another bullshit one. They're not going to license their biggest IPs. Yeah, they're a limited license. That's not going to stop James Gunn, from doing his shit. I mean, they're about making money and paying bills. All right, fanboy logic doesn't pay bills. If somebody offers you a considerable amount of money and you don't have to spend a dime to do it, and you work out back-end deals as far as merchandise and toys and everything like that, that's realistic. But like I said, I'm not saying it's ever going to happen. It's probably not. But the bullshit reasons that I've heard all week are fucking stupid. All right? It's almost like the people spouting them out really don't give a fuck whether what they're saying makes any sense. They're going to say it's never going to happen, and then they're going to try to prop up that bullshit argument. And all I'm saying is there's enough there to even, to have a conversation about it. William, as friends, can we stop assuming that Zack Snyder wants to continue? You will never tell me, you will never convince me that someone who started something like that, would not want to finish that. That's like Moby Dick chasing a white whale. You never feel good about leaving something unfinished. If you're an artist, you never, I don't care who it is. No artist, whether it's a painter, whether it's a movie maker, whether it's a sculptor, no artist wants to leave their work unfinished. Regardless of who you move, who and what you moved on to. I don't care if it's a fucking finger paint. If you're not done, you want to finish, period. And what happened at DC was largely people that are no longer at DC anymore. So, like I said, disclaimer, most likely would never happen. But if you're going to tell me something's not going to happen, please don't give me a bullshit reason and then try to reinforce it with garbage. That's all I'm asking. All right, we're at 15 minutes. Journalists be the Wall Street Journal thought it was a good idea to put the Snyderverse. Wall Street Journal, Forbes put their 2 cents out there. I guess they're idiots now too, right? But we'll listen to Variety and Hollywood Reporter. We'll lick their balls whenever they say something. But, those guys, they're nothing. I don't know. Yeah, that's it. And I'm going to champion that till I drop. I don't need 25 fucking movies. All I wanted you to is finish what you started. I don't trust you with anything new when I see what you've done with my old. You want me to give you a brand new cache of money. I've been giving you money for 9 fucking years. And what did you do with that? Even if it's a different regime, that money doesn't jump back into my pocket just because you buy out Warner Brothers. and you announce somebody new. And I'm just the general audience doesn't even know what's going on behind all this. All the general audience knows is that they were given a diet of Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman, and then they weren't. And then they were expected to come back and support a movie with a C character in it because you put one of the A characters in there for a minute. That's what the general fan knows. Let's see. Let's go. Seems like people are hung up that they can't license IP while using the same characters, but they did. Yeah, they did it. Like I said, bullshit reasons. I'm sorry. I love some of these people, but they got it in their head first that they were going to knock it down before they even explored it, and they put themselves in a corner to basically have a fountain of bullshit as their supporting argument. That's how I feel. But like I said, no first appearance of the. So you're talking about something that's 1940, dude. You got what condition? That's 10.3. I got to see that. That's wow. You got to message me on my Twitter or whatever. I need to see that picture. That's amazing. If you got that, that's one of the rarest comics in the world. If you have that, a lot of people aren't. And a lot of my casual fans who come into the store, a lot of my people, because we do movie screenings and movie promos, a lot of my casual people, when we survey them about it, they're exhausted. They're not interested in starting over again. Not saying that Gunn can't succeed, but you got to understand that the pure exhaustion that putting any type of mental effort into following these things, and just to have somebody come along and tell you that those 9 years didn't matter, even as a basic fan, you're just going to be like, you know what? Now the hardcore fan will bang his head on the YouTube screen and scream and hashtag. At least you're getting interaction from us. You know where we stand. Casual fan, we'll just tune you out. You'll never hear him leave the house. Yeah, I mean, multiple genders, so yeah. Yeah, we don't know yet, and that's another thing I want to be a disclaimer. We don't know what this guy's going to give us in the next couple of weeks. We may love it. So I'll give myself a disclaimer as far as I'm not going to go hate James Gunn, and I'm not going to tell you to fire James Gunn. I can't tell you to get excited about what's coming because I don't know what's coming. I can't tell you to get excited about these last four movies, with the exception of The Flash, because I do want to see The Flash, but all these other movies, and people are like, why does it have to be a shared universe for you to like it? Can't it just be a good movie? Get the fuck out of here with that, all right? I bought into this DCU as a shared universe. These movies were sold to me as a shared universe. I don't give a fuck about them as individual movies. I care about the overall narrative because that's what you sold me on. That is the comic book way of storytelling. It has been that way for 85 years. One leads to the other. I'm not going to, what am I getting excited about the Batman for? I love the Batman, but I got 3 fucking years to get another Batman. So at this rate, what, 7 years, 9 years before I get a full story at the rate he's getting things going? The Joker, every 3 years I'm going to get a movie. That's not sustainable mentally or financially. All right. I've told you guys 1,000 times, just being a good movie is not, it's about 25% of your success. All right. There are movies that have been shitty movies that have gotten the benefit of the doubt and have done well because they were sandwiched in between movies that mattered. I didn't like Captain Marvel. Why'd that movie make $1 billion? Why? Because of the neighborhood it was in. I told you this before. Nobody gives a fuck about the talking raccoon and the talking tree without the preceding Marvel Universe movies that came to it. You put that movie out there on your own, and I don't care what anybody wants to tell you, somebody's getting fired. All right? If that even gets it past the stage. So, yeah, people who say, well, you should just go see Aquaman and Shazam because they're good movies. Fuck it. No. All right? Even if I may go see these movies, that is a fucked up argument to tell somebody. It's a rumor that your universe is getting cut, but you want me to go get on this bridge that we all know may get cut off. Now, things can change. He could put out something that makes these movies relevant to that fan. But I'm not going to tell a consumer to go see a bunch of movies if he thinks that it's a dead end. Like I said, I can't make a good enough argument for him. And it's a great movie. There's a lot of great movies out there that nobody goes and sees. All right, so that's fucking lame. All right, I called it a month ago. Euphoria guy will be Superman. Funny how rumor choices are narrowing down. Right now, I don't think anybody is in the running right now because according to James Gunn, he's not even done with the script. He's not even going to consider an actor until he's done with the script. And that's what, be honest with you, that's what most directors do. All right, 56 minutes. Nosferatu is the oldest it is the oldest vampire movie, period. 1922, it is the oldest vampire movie in existence. Slipknot. All right, let's see. No, the universe is already there. The version is already there. That's what I mean. Also, we're not talking about bringing a brand new thing and putting it up against whatever they decide to do at WBD. I'm talking about the established characters that fans and general fans already know. Resolving that storyline. You don't have to create anything. It's already there. Fans are already familiarized with those versions of those characters. So, and competition, Netflix small screen, and you don't put it out at the same time. But once again, explicitly announce and say that it's ending. And people are like, well, the Steiner fans won't be happy with that. Listen, all right, knock that shit off. If you're running a business, fanboys can sit back behind their computers and say dumb shit. But if you're running something, you are not aiming towards those 1%ers either way. You're not aiming towards the 1%er that's going to follow you wherever you go like a fucking dog. And you're not aiming towards the people who are not going to be happy with anything. You're aiming for the middle. So I don't give a rat's ass what some of those fans will say. Do what you're going to do because you can make money in the middle because that is where the majority of your cash comes in. So I just heard so much bullshit when it came to that. So, but no, not you, Shogun. But no, I'm answering your question. No. First of all, it wouldn't be creating anything because these characters are already established. You do more harm by not finishing with those, because you're going to have a bunch of questions of where did the Superman I spent all these years watching? Why did I never see him again? Where was Ben Affleck's Batman? Why am I getting another Superman? I'm not old enough to have all these Supermans in my life. It's not like Christopher Reeve 40 years ago. So no, and they would executive produce it. Like I said, a small sample size. You go in, you get it done, you end it. That's it. James Gunn's universe is going to last if he can hold on, to that position. According to them, you're going to have 10 years. I'm talking at something that could be wrapped up in 6 episodes. So that's not competition. People keep say that, but it's not. That's not. You're not thinking things out. All right. Yeah. See, like I said, William, I disagree. I don't think traditional Indiana Jones fans would riot. I mean, okay, so if you, it all depends, Anthony, how much of that you make it into his character. Like, say, for instance, we have back in World War II, the Army had an antiquities group because they had to shape. Like, so what you're saying is very plausible. They had, I forgot the, and they did a movie about it. The Men Who Talk Stare at Goats or whatever. Not that one, but there was another one where it was about the antiquities group because Hitler stole a lot of things and it was their job to go after and recover that stuff for them. So you could have him as being part of that unit. I think that he was already a professor and a archaeologist because remember he's in Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom, and both Raiders of Lost Ark take place while Nazis are there. So he wouldn't be retired because that war only lasted 4 years for them. So he wouldn't be retired. So he would have to be, I guess, World War I, maybe. He wouldn't be a paratrooper because they didn't have paratroopers in World War I. So you'd have to line up the military history. It's possible. Because Joker and Batman are WBIPs, yeah. But yeah, like I said, but his question is, could they like I said, they're selling off soundtracks for cash. They got $50 billion in debt that they had to assume and take care of. Don't when that kind of leverage and money is involved, never say never. That's all I'm saying. WB would be getting the money. They would be getting the licensing, and they would have control over how that license is done. The reason why my friend lost that had that comment because of grandfather. Wow, fuck, dude, I am jealous as hell. Send me a picture of that, please. I would love to see because you don't get a chance to see those. That's right, exactly. I really don't know, but constantly love you if you're asking me. All right, guys, I have to get to bed. Let me see. Lex J, I don't get a chance to interact with you, so I'm going to answer. Is pulling this environment where the general audience perhaps attentive to the steam built up by the Snyderverse fans or similarly moving on in other projects attached from Marvel, DC? I don't know. It's a good question, but I don't. He has not given me enough information to see where this is going. We really don't have a lot of information. We don't have as much as we think we have. And like I say on the stream, leave yourself open to like what James Gunn is doing, even if this has been handled horribly. I think that by not resolving what has come before, you decrease your chances with the general audience simply because brand loyalty comes from brand continuity. And DC does not have that right now. You have some broken up shit over here, and then you're trying to get them from looking at that broken shit you got while you're trying to sell them some other shit. People are going to be like, what's that broken shit over there? It's real easy. All right, thank you. All right, guys, that is it. I am going to see you tomorrow night, probably around 9:30, and we're gonna go. It's gonna be a true overnighter. We'll probably not be done till 1 because I got a lot of wrestling to talk. I got a lot of Star Trek to talk. I got a lot of just in general stuff to talk. Plus, we'll be going over some new stuff that I picked up at the store. We'll just have a lot of fun. Just gonna let the stress loose, kick back, and just enjoy each other tomorrow night. All right, guys. Thank you for being here, and I did it. I went over an hour, but that's better than usual. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you tomorrow night.